What is 200% of 2% of a third of 225? So first let's do a third of 225, and that would be 675. And then we'll take 2% of that, so 0.02 of 675, and that is 13.5. And then 200% of that would be just 2.0 times 13.5, and that is 27. How many integers between 10 and 500 inclusive have their digits in strictly decreasing order? For example, 41, 320 are such integers, but 441 and 230 are not. Well, let's break this up into two-digit numbers, and then we'll do three-digit numbers. Okay, so for two-digit number, for example, if the first digit was a 9, then the next digit obviously has to be 8 or less. So 98, 97, 96, and so on, all the way down to 90. And there's that would be a total of 9 such numbers. Correct? Similarly, if you have 8 as your first digit, then the second digit obviously has to be 7 or lower. So 8, 87, 86, all the way down to 80. So that's 8. Continuing like this, in a very predictable way, you will get that this next one, when the first digit is 7, gives you 7. And so on, right? If the first digit is 6, you'll get 5. You'll get 6. If the first digit is 5, you'll get 5 of those. If the first digit is 4, you'll get 4 of those. If the first digit is 3, you'll get 3 of those. If the first digit is 2, you get 2 of those. And the first digit is 1, the only one you get is 10. So this is the total. So if you add all these up, you get 45. So 45 so far. But then now we have to do the three-digit numbers. Three-digit numbers, okay. So let's see here. But the number is between 500 and 10, right? So we don't have to deal with all the three-digit numbers. We only have to deal with that range. So 500 is the largest one, but 500 is not in decreasing order, right? Because I don't think ties count. I think it has to be strictly decreasing. So we start with 499. So if 4 is the first digit, the next digit has to be a 3. You got it? Or the next digit has to be a 2, or the next digit has to be 1, or the next digit has to be 0. So these are the only possibilities. But then we also have to fill in that third digit. Okay, not a problem. The choices could be 432, 431, or 430, right? For this one, 421 or 420. For this one, 410. And for this one, there's nothing that works that is strictly decreasing. So this gives me 6. So now we did 4, now let's move to 3. So if 3 is the first digit, then it could be 32, 31, or 30. If it's 32, we can probably do this manually. 321 and 320, those are the only ones that work. 31, 310, and then with 300 is the only one, and that doesn't work because it has to be strictly decreasing. So we have just these 3. And I believe, oh, we forgot the 2. We did 4 here, we did 3 here, we got to do 2 now. So 2, the next digit has to be 1, or the next digit has to be 0. If it's 2-1, that's going to be 210 and 200, but that fails. So then we get just this one guy. And I think now we can finally add them all up. So we got 45, 6, 3, and 1. And therefore the grand total is 55. An integer n greater than 1 is called doubly squared if n is a perfect square and the number of positive divisors of n is a perfect square. Determine the smallest doubly squared integer greater than 1. Okay, so the first thing is a little bit of a primer. Some of you already know this, but if you have a number and it's broken down into its prime factorization, so p being prime to the exponent a, the number of divisors is a plus 1. Now, if the number has two primes, so you have prime 1 to the a times prime 2 to the b, then the number of divisors is a plus 1 times b plus 1. So this is something we are going to use in this question. So first of all, the numbers themselves have to be perfect squares. So let's just talk about the perfect squares. So we have 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, and so on. So let's list a few. Hopefully we'll get the answer sooner rather than later. And let's see what happens. So using this guy here, we can get the number of divisors for some of these. So this one, well, this one doesn't count. Well, does it count? Sure. Hold on. 1 squared is just 1, right? Yeah. So that's just 1. That doesn't count. One is actually, there you go. It has to be greater than 1. So that's why I was wondering, why are we even including 1? This should have been a 2. I don't know why. So using this rule, that has 2 plus 1, or 3 divisors. This one, again, 2 plus 1, so 3 divisors. This one, well, this one actually, we have to break this into prime factors, because 4 is not prime. So that's going to be 2 to the power of 4. So that's going to have 5 divisors, right? Using this a plus 1 rule. This is going to have 3 divisors, 2 plus 1. This one, though, we have to break it down into its prime factor. So it's 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 2, 3 to the power of 2. And for that, we have to use this one, because now we have two primes. That's going to be 2 plus 1 times 2 plus 1. So that is 9. Okay, I think so far we got it, because the number has to be a perfect square, and all these are perfect squares. These are all perfect squares. And the number of divisors also has to be a perfect square. 3 is not a perfect square. 5 is not a perfect square. But 9 is. So there we go. For this number, which is 36, the number itself is a perfect square, right? It's 6 squared. And the number of divisors is 9, and 9 is a perfect square. So that's the smallest. And I'm sure if you continued this, there would be others, but they just want the smallest one. Let ABC be an equilateral triangle with area 80. Let D, E, and F be the midpoints of BC, CA, and AB respectively. Let X, Y, and Z be the midpoints of AD, BE, and CF respectively. Determine the area of triangle XYZ. All right, so a lot of ways of doing this. Let me just see here. The area of an equilateral triangle is root 3 over 4 a squared. And they're telling me that's 80. Okay. So you can solve for this, and when you do, you get approximately 13.5923. And then it just kind of keeps going. All right. Now let's see, where should I progress here? I'm just trying to think. Well, I'm going to drop a perpendicular like that, and then this point here, whatever you want to call it, let's call it W. That triangle, I dropped a perpendicular, and since this was an equilateral triangle, this is 30 degrees in here, and therefore that angle would be 60. So that's a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and that's very helpful. And we also know that X is the midpoint of AD, correct? Yeah. So all these things are going to be very helpful in our calculation, but let me just establish something first. X, Y, Z is the triangle, right? And if we use and it's equilateral, yeah, because of the symmetry of this diagram. So it would be root 3 over 4, and we'll call it b squared, where b is the length of xy. Is that right? Yeah, so I guess we have to figure out b. And if we do, then we'll be finished with the question. Okay, so let's see. Which triangle do I want to start with here? I'm going to start with CAD, that one. So I'll label it. I just don't want to use the diagram here because it'll get really messy. That's why I'm drawing them again. So this is right, this is 60 and that's 30. So this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And like all 30, 60, 90 triangles, the ratio, I should say, of the sides is 2, 1, and root 3. So that means that we know AC, right? AC is a side, and AC is this. So that means AC over AD would be the ratio 2 over root 3. And then AC, we know, 13.5923. AD is 2 over root 3. So then we can calculate AD. And AD, when we calculate it, is 11.7712 approximately. Okay, that's pretty good. Now we will move over to another triangle, which I will draw here, and that's this one, the AWX1. And very similarly, it's also a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and of course it also has the same ratio of the sides. So using that fact, we can say that AX over, which side do you want to use? AW, I guess, would be 2 over root 3. Okay. Now AX is half of AD. Yeah. So that would be 11.7712 over 2. And AW is what we're trying to figure out. Okay, so when you calculate this, we get AW is equal to 5.097. All right, well, I think we're almost there. Now, we have to figure out the length of XY. So XY would be the length of AB minus 2 times the length of AW. So that would be 13.5923 minus 2 times 5.097. And therefore, that's 3.398. And there we go. We got AB, 3.398. And then we just plug it into this formula. So the triangle XYZ is root 3 over 4 times 3.398 all squared. And when you calculate that number, you will get exactly 5. You should get exactly 5.